Thanks to CuriosityStream for sponsoring this video. Welcome, folks, to a coding challenge. I haven't done one of these in a while. I'm going to set myself a timer here, and I'm going to attempt to make a slide puzzle. So this is the source image that I'm going to use. I need to chop it up into a bunch of pieces, allow you to click to move the pieces around, and see if you can solve it to put it back together and have something detect when it's put back together that it works. All right, so one of the things that we need to use, that I need to use for this, is the copy function. Because what I want to do first is just take this image and chop it up into a bunch of smaller images. So let me call those the pieces, and I'll make an array. And then in setup, I should figure out how many columns and rows that I want. So let's just make it, right now it's a 400 by 400, so let's just make it 4 by 4. And I also am going to probably want to keep track of the width and height of each piece. I probably should do this in an object-oriented way where there's class, piece, and that's not happening right now. For let I equal 0, I is less than the number of columns. J is less than 0, J less than the number of rows. W is the width of the canvas divided by the number of columns. H is the height of the canvas divided by the number of rows. And then, for each one of these, I need to make a new image, or the image is a piece of the larger image. So I need to take the source image and copy from it. Oh, I think I could just use get. I'm really obsessed with the idea of using copy because hopefully by the time this video comes out, there will be an entire video all about the copy function in processing in P5. Let's look at the reference. Get, I believe, it returns an array of RGBA values, which is not what I want. I want an actual image. Maybe copy is what I want. I know copy will work in the sense that I can copy from this image onto this image. Let's use copy. So this is fine. I'm going to use copy because I know it's going to work. And the first thing I'll do is create a blank image that is the size of one of the pieces. I really want to use the whiteboard just because I have a whiteboard. So the idea here is I have a source image. And what I first want to do is on my canvas, I'm going to chop this up 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 into 4 by 4. And I want to take this section of the image and place it on the canvas, but keep this as a separate variable, like a piece, so that these pieces can be locked to a part of the original. Oh, I just need I gotta do this object-oriented, right? Because the piece should know where its home base is as well as where it currently is. So if they're being shuffled, when all the pieces are in the right place, we've won. So what do I need? I need to make a class, a piece class that has a current index. If I number all these, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, blah, 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 I want to keep track of where it currently is, as well as where its original spot is, its home base is, so we know when the puzzle's solved. All right, let's do that. It's worth it. It'll be worth it. So let me, I got to open this up here. I'm going to make a new JavaScript file, and I'm going to call it piece.js. Tile, it's probably tile is what they are, right? Let's call it tile.js. So I have a tile class. What does it have in it? It has the index, so I'm going to pass that in as an argument, and it has its image. So, there's probably more to do with this, but I'm basically just want to wrap the idea of the image's piece and where it's supposed to be into this constructor. Okay, good. Here we go. So now what I'm actually doing is I'm still creating the image, then I'm saying copy. What am I copying? I'm copying from the source. 0, 0, with, oh, no. In the source, the X location is I times the width. The Y location is J times H. And I'm copying from the source, I, J, with height to 0, 0 with height. So if this is confusing to you, thank goodness I have a whiteboard. Each one of these pieces is an image where this is 0, 0, and its height is width and H. But if I'm copying this one, and it's column 2, row 1, boy, this is like so messy, this whiteboard, but that's fine. Then basically I need to know what is this location. This location is column times width, row times height, and then, so take this section and copy it to this part of the piece. And I think this is right? It's, it should be the source image, source X, source Y, source to the destination. I want to copy the source image at this location to this destination, which is image at this location. Great. Then I need to make a tile, is a new tile, index, and then the image. Now, what is the index? The index is the, I'm not going to use any two-dimensional arrays here. I'm just going to keep track of the individual index counting 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 0 through 15, 16 total tiles. So the index is I plus j times the number of columns. Oh, let's call this tiles. Let's just put all the tiles into an array. Just out of curiosity now, let me loop through that array. And, okay, I have an idea. Let's make a variable called board. So this is the board. The board is an array of all of the elements in the order that they're in. So board push index. So basically, I'm going to have an array that keeps track of the positions of all of the tiles. And then, this is a little bit silly, but I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to just always use a nested loop just to get that index. And then I'm going to say board index show. So let me just do, let me think about this for a second. Let me be a little bit more thoughtful here. I was trying to avoid using a two-dimensional array, but maybe that's silly. So I want to have this array, which I'm going to call board. And it's going to have, like, it'll be all of the numbers shuffled in random order. So as I go through, I draw the image at that spot, like the 0 spot, what the 0 spot would be X and Y, but I go look up image 3, or index 3, from my array of all of the tiles. I don't know if that made sense, but I had to walk over to the whiteboard to sort of think through that. In other words, X is, this is exactly what I'm doing. X is I times W, Y is J times H, and then the image I want to draw is board index. It's actually like tiles board index. I mean, this is like a crazy way to write it, but I basically want the number, the index that's in the array called board to tell me which tile to look up. So this is tile, I'll call it like tile index, or right now they'll be in order because I haven't shuffled it, right? I'm putting them all in order, and then I should be able to say image, X, comma, Y. So I'm hoping that when I run this sketch, I'm going to identically see the image, because the only things that I've done is chop it up into a bunch of tiles, put them into an array in order, and then I'm going and getting them one at a time and showing them. All right, what happened? Am I supposed to do create image? Yeah. So I think I did the DOM image element by accident. Tile is not defined. Oh, no problem. No problem. Yep. Tile.js, that's a file I'm working with. Thank you very much. Failed to execute draw. Load pixels? Yeah, create image, load pixels. Maybe I just need to call load pixels. I thought to do copy I don't need to, but I must. And then let's do like image update pixels. Let's try that. Signature not supported. What is going on? Oh, look at this. I deleted some stuff. When I was like mucking around, some stuff got deleted. I need all those numbers. And I want to copy it from X, comma, Y. Nice. Okay. I don't know if I need all these load pixels and update pixels. Still good? Okay, everybody. Image equals tile dot image. So I need to pull the image property out of the tiles. No, okay. Let's take out all these like load pixels and update pixels. Yeah, okay, I didn't need any of the load pixels and update pixels. There's a little bit of a mystery here. I have a feeling here copy is doing the work for us, so we're good. Now, you might not believe me. Now, this is actually showing it as separate tiles. Now, let me prove this by just drawing some lines over it. This is gonna be a slightly awkward way of doing it, but let me just do stroke weight 2, no fill. Oh, but this is silly. If I change this to like width minus 10, height minus, like if I make the images smaller, right? Okay, I just wanted to show you that they are separate pieces. So visually, it might help, I think, to actually just draw little thin lines over it with the rectangles. And this is very silly, this extraneous kind of code that I'm doing, but I think this will help. Yeah, so I just wanted to draw some lines over it. Now, we are really getting somewhere because in theory, if all I do is shuffle this array, right, have all of the elements of the array in random order, then I should see the image chopped up and moved around. So let's do that. So I'm gonna write a function called shuffle, which receives an array. And then I'm going to just say like 100 times pick R1 is array dot a random number, floor a random number between 0 and the length of the array. R2 is floor a random number between 0 and the length of the array. Now, in theory, I don't want these two elements to be the same, but I'm doing it a bunch of times. I want to swap. The way I'm going to shuffle the array is by picking any two elements and swapping their place. So now, temp is that array's R1 value. Then, and you know, I'm going to write a swap function because I'm going to need that, I think, also when I move the pieces. So function swap is swap index I and j of an array. So temp is index I, and then that array's I element is the j element, and the j element is that temporary value. Now you might be wondering, like, what? And there's a way, I know there's some like object deconstruction way I can do a swap, and I'll put it up on the screen if I ever make this into an edited video. But basically, the old-fashioned, the old way that we used to swap our elements in an array is we take element 1, store it somewhere temporary because we need to put a new thing in that spot, and then we saved it temporarily, we can put that thing we saved in the spot that just the other thing came out of. So now I want to swap R1, R2 in that array. So let's shuffle. I don't need to shuffle the tiles. The tiles is just an array of elements. I'm shuffling the array that's keeping track of the indices of all of them. Maybe I didn't need these two arrays, but it's the way that I'm thinking of it right now. Shuffle the board. Well, good thing I wrote my own shuffle function, P5. The reason I'm getting that error is there already is a global function in P5 called shuffle, and it uses this Fisher-Yates shuffle algorithm, which I can only assume is better than whatever I did. Although, is it the same? I don't know. We could read this page and discover, it could be another coding challenge, the Fisher-Yates shuffle algorithm. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna call this simple shuffle. That way, and I could use the P5 one, you should try it yourself. There we go, look! I have mixed up the elements. All right, so one thing that for it to be a slide puzzle that I need to do is I need to be able to remove one of them. So columns, and then let's just delete the last one. Pop, is it pop? And that'll be empty. Okay, great. So as long as if tile index is greater than 0, draw the image. So now I'm just, whoops, greater than -1. Okay, so now I have made the board. I could shuffle it. I could still shuffle it now, but this shuffling is no good. Because in theory now, is it possible that it's unsolvable? I need a move. Basically, I need a function that like moves one element. So function move. So the function is going to receive a given index. So the idea is I'm clicking on an index, like I'm going to click on one of them, and it's only a valid move if it's above, below, to the right, or to the left. So I do need this function, like the column is index. Well, you know what? I could pick a random column or row. I need to know where the -1 is. So let's just have a variable. Blank spot is, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write a function. Find blank. So this is a way to quickly check all of it to find which one is blank. So the blank the blank column is the blank spot modulus the number of columns, and the blank row is floor the blank index divided by the number of rows. That's the inverse of putting it back. I should just use the two-dimensional array. Okay, so that's the blank column and row. So I and j, if I and j is a neighbor, if is neighbor, I, j, blank, there's got to be an easier way to check if it's a neighbor, right? So if it's a neighbor, then swap blank with I plus j times columns of that array. So the move, basically the idea of doing a move is there's a spot that I want to move. If it's a proper neighbor to the blank spot, then it can be swapped with it. Oh no, that's not, yeah. When you move a thing in, tile into it, it becomes the blank spot. Okay. So I just need now an isNeighbor function. You, the viewer, will write this in a so much better way. I'm on a time crunch here. I'm way over my 30-minute limit. Function isNeighbor. I'm just going to do x1, y1, x2, y2. Let me do ij, xy. So first, if I is not equal to x and j is not equal to y, return false. It's either got to be in the same column or the same row. So if they're both not the same, then it's not a neighbor. If the absolute value of I minus x equals 1, it's one spot away. Or the absolute value of j minus y, if it's one spot away, return true. And I know I could return like the result or whatever. Otherwise, it's the same spot, so I'm just going to say return false if it gets to the end. I think this will work. Just did that kind of like awkwardly, right? It's got to both be in either the same column or row and one spot away. So now, shuffling should be picking a move. Random columns and random rows. I know I could just pick from valid neighbors to do a move, but if I do it enough times, I'll pick valid neighbors enough times that this should work. So now I should just say move R1 and R2, and move if it's finds the blank spot, and if the blank spot is a neighbor, it swaps it with, I don't know if this is gonna work, let's just try it. Array, move. I guess move the functions should get the array. I mean, I'm only using one array, so it's a little bit silly. There we go, okay. So that's a valid shuffling. Now I'm just curious, let me make this a random move function. Again, I will refactor this later. I mean, I don't know if I will. Let's do random move. So like if I do it 1,000 moves, array. It's a little bit silly how I have to I'm not using global variables well. Okay, so that should be a random shuffling that's possible, but just out of curiosity, in draw, if I just said random move of the tiles, but I don't want to shuffle it, I just want to see it do one move per, okay, cannot read properties of undefined image. Oh, board. It's the board. There we go. Oh, I'm not drawing the background. So the old piece is there. Okay. So this is it shuffling the puzzle randomly. Oh, I love this. All I need to do now is have a mousePressed function. I'm going to go back to shuffling it to start. So take out this. And a mousePressed function is, so the column that I'm clicking on is floor mouse X divided by the number of columns, right? And the row, and I'm going to call this I, and the row that I'm clicking on is floor mouse Y divided by the number of rows, and then move I, J tiles. Now, I'm not giving myself any feedback, or I'm not seeing an animation. All of those are things that I hope that you will add. It should move if it's a valid neighbor. What did I? So console log I, J. 60, oh, whoops. No. Divided by W and H. Not divided by the number of columns, divided by the width of the column. Is it 0, 1, or 2? Okay. Phew. It's like, what am I? I'm losing my mind here. Okay. No. Oh, not the tiles, the board. Yeah, look at that. Now I'm pressing the buttons, and so now it is solved. If solved, console log solved. We will not have any fanfare, just a console log solved. So I'm going to write a function is solved, where I'm going to go for let I equal 0, I is less than board.length minus 1. I don't need to check the last one. I plus plus. And then if board index I is not equal to tiles index I dot index, right? Didn't I save where it's supposed to be? Yes, in the tile class. Then that's a piece that's in the wrong place. So return false. And if you get through everything, all of them are in the right place, return true. So if I don't shuffle the board at all, it's solved. It's showing me it's solved. Now if I shuffle it in setup, it's not solved, and I can solve it. Okay, let's make it easier for me to solve. Oh my God, I think I got this. I think I did it. So let's just shuffle it, simple shuffle like 5 times. Okay, no, it didn't pick. Oh, there we go. Okay, great. So in theory, all I need to do is just click on this element. It will move up and go into place. Solved. Yay, okay, awesome. So just for fun, because what are we doing but having fun, I am going to have it be 8 by 8, and I am going to let it shuffle 100 times. Well, I guess there's more pieces, it's not going to pick the thing randomly. But hold on, this is a little bit harder. Solved, I did it. No, let's keep it, but this is kind of fun because you realize you could do like, you know, a 20 by 20 slide puzzle here. Right? And how many times do I need, like, you know, obviously, again, I need a better shuffling algorithm, but if I do it 10,000 times, you know, that's a lot of interesting moves there. But let's go back to making it 4 by 4. I'm going to make this puzzle solvable for myself. This is the last thing I'm going to do. I'm going to make it 4 by 4. I'm going to shuffle it just 100 times, and let's see if I can solve this. Ooh, shoot. Oh, wait a sec. I think I did it. Yes! I solved it! All right! So what can you do? Well, you can be more thoughtful about what image you pick. You could add animations. There's a million opportunities to refactor this code to make it make more sense. I mean, this object could do so much. I started with like, I need to make this object oriented, but I did not follow through with that. But also, one prompt that I would have for you is, there's no reason you couldn't do this with a video. or some abstract generative art drawing. I mean, so many possibilities there, because as long as you have an image, even if it's an image that's changing over time, you can shuffle it and you can solve it. And a move counter for scoring, so many things. Whew. If you like this coding challenge video and are wondering what happened inside all of those little cuts and edits, I'd like to encourage you to sign up for Nebula and CuriosityStream. Nebula is a streaming platform for me and other educational creators where you can watch ad-free versions of the Coding Train videos, as well as the 45-ish minute uncut version of this coding challenge with all that extra debugging time. You'll also find ad-free videos and bonus content from a variety of other great channels like Jordan Herod, Tierzoo, and Practical Engineering. You'll also get access to Nebula originals that you can't find anywhere else, like Better Elevation, a deep dive into new tools creators use to supercharge their productions. The best way to sign up for Nebula is through CuriosityStream, who are kindly sponsoring this video. CuriosityStream is a subscription service with thousands of documentaries and nonfiction videos. If you like the Coding Train, I have a feeling you are going to love watching Calculating Ada, the Countess of Computing, hosted by the amazing Dr. Hannah Fry, along with numerous other films and series about mathematics, AI, and computing. If you sign up using this link that's going to magically appear on screen, or the one that's in the video description, promo code CodingTrain, you will get 26% off CuriosityStream's HD annual plan, as well as access to all of Nebula. That's less than $15 for the entire year, not per month, the whole year. It's a great way to support the Coding Train, find ad-free and some uncut versions of my videos, as well as discover lots of other wonderful creators. Sign up with this link or on CuriosityStream's website with the promo code CodingTrain. Thank you for watching this coding challenge, and I will see you next time on the Coding Train.